What is up, Facebook Live? Nice to see you all. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever in the world you're tuning in from. As you are tuning in, I would love to know, number one, where you're tuning in from. Number two, love to know three things you're grateful for out there in Facebook world. I'd also love to know if you can hear me loud and clear. Good afternoon, Jarek. Hey, nice to see you. What is up, friends? Welcome back. It's from Scotland, New Jersey. What's up, Steve? Nice to see you, sir. Today's topic, I don't know which day we're on of the 100-day personal performance and business growth challenge, but today's topic is, what were you put on this planet to do? I was just listening to the introduction of a book called Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Myss. And what was very fascinating is she said, imagine before you arrived in physical form on this planet, if you made an agreement that said, here is what I'm going to do with the physical life I'm about to take form in. Here is what I want to create or be a part of or develop or design. Here's how I want to interact with other humans, with other people. Here's the difference, the legacy that I want to be able to create when I go there and I'm alive. And so if you look at this concept, and she said, elevate above the human experience, go before your human experience, which is an interesting perspective to take. But just for a second, if you imagine before you decided to become a human form, when you were still in spirit form or element form, and you were making an agreement with God, the universe, Mother Nature, whatever you'd call it, then the question would be, what would that agreement be? Meaning, what did you agree to do, to be? How did you agree to show up? How did you agree to interact with other humans and the animals and the earth? What agreements would you put in place if you got to go all the way back to the pre-human form version of you and make an agreement that says, hey, I'm going to go down and I'm going to go over there and become a human element or a human form. And my agreement is, as I do that, here's how I'm going to live, who I'm going to be, how I'm going to interact with people, nature, the universe, how I'm going to interact with animals and anything that's alive, plants. And here's how I'm going to treat myself. Here's how I'm going to treat others. It's almost a sacred contract, as she says, and I'm still in the beginning, but a sacred contract of how you promised or agreed to live. Now, she said one thing you got to be careful with sacred contracts. If you say, listen, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to be the most forgiving human ever, then life is going to serve up a lot of opportunities that you're going to have to forgive. If you say, oh, I want to go down there and I'm going to, my sacred contract is I'm going to experience the truest form of absolute abundance, thinking you're going to get cars and stuff and trips and money. And then in reality, life will wipe everything away from you to realize that true abundance is a heartbeat, the ability to see or hear or feel or touch another human, or just enjoy the breath in your body, to enjoy that heartbeat, to enjoy being alive. And it's like, oh my gosh. And so she said, be very careful with what contract you decide you want to have, because whatever it is you ask for, it's going to give you the experience of having to learn how to live true to it, not the end result where you get to have everything you want. And so if there was one lesson that you said you wanted to learn in this lifetime or experience in this lifetime, what would be the lesson that you wanted to learn? If there was one lesson you wanted to learn in this lifetime, what would be the lesson that you wanted to learn in this life? I'm curious. Isaac, today's topic is sacred contracts. It's a new book I'm listening to or reading by Carolyn Miss. And so, if you wanted to learn one lesson in your lifetime, what would the lesson be? Andrea says, life is just a blessing to be grateful and loving. John says it's very hard to answer. I know it's hard to answer. It's a good question. If you were to learn one lesson in your lifetime, what would that lesson be? How do you use your gifts to heal the world? I'm not sure. Healing the world is a heavy thing. It's a big thing. I like the question though. How to be kinder towards others and less selfish. Okay? If you were to learn one thing in your lifetime, what would it be? Lessons on how to live with more passion, how to be genuinely happy. And remember, whatever the lesson is you want to learn, you'd have to be put into experiences that would cause you to have to learn that lesson. I would try to teach others to live unconditionally. Christina would want to be happy. If you were to learn one lesson in your lifetime, what would that lesson be? Here's my next question. Heidi says to love unconditionally. Here's my next question. Emma says how to be happy. Beautiful. To be a person of true integrity. To treat others like you want to be treated. Beautiful. So if these are the lessons or the lesson you'd want to learn, how do you currently show up how do you show up each day to learn that lesson? Meaning, what are you doing every day? What are you reading? Where are you going? Who are you interacting with? How are you living your life that's helping you to learn that lesson? What are you consciously choosing to do each day to practice moving in the direction of learning that lesson, to get closer, to make progress in your understanding of it? What are you doing every day to literally move forward with this lesson? Rama says manifestation, very nice. What are you doing each day? If you want to truly be happy, what are you doing to learn that lesson of true happiness? If you want to love unconditionally, what are you doing to practice learning how to love more deeply or more unconditionally? If you want to serve others with passion, what are you doing every day? Soul on Fire says writing, connecting with others, sharing their stories, beautiful. Always being aware of your actions, that helps. Be the person anyone can call and come rescue them with love no matter what, beautiful, Heidi. What are you doing every day? If that's the lesson you feel you want to learn in this lifetime, what are you doing every day to learn more about it? What are you doing every day to practice more of it? What are you doing every day to go even deeper with it? Healing myself and learning to love myself. Beautiful, Lori. Always being positive. That helps. Here's another question. If you're really honest, what have you been doing in the recent past that's actually blocking you from learning the lesson? What have you been doing that's actually moving you further away from the lesson you're here to learn, you're here to live? Lots of us do things where we take 3 steps forward and 2 steps back because we have these little habits or little patterns that actually move us further away from what we feel we were made to do on this planet. And we get into those habits or patterns like procrastination, Isaac says, absolutely. We get into those habits or patterns because they feel good in the moment, or we need a distraction, or we're uncomfortable in our own self, and therefore we reach for something or go to something to try to distract us. Emma says listening to the wrong people. That, another way to get distracted. Get all caught up in someone's advice thinking they know everything and follow them down the wrong path and go, oh shoot, this is their path, not my path. Listening to too much music. Resentment and comparison. Ambition and ego versus what we really feel. And so one last question that would go in here. What could you commit to doing for the next 30 days to keep yourself in alignment with what you feel you were put on this planet to learn? What could you commit to doing for the next 30 days to consistently keep you on track to learning the lesson you were put on this planet to learn. I'll give you one clue. What's a question? What's a question you could ask yourself each day that would immediately realign you, immediately put you right back on track, immediately cause you to just bingo, right back in the zone? Reminding myself every morning of my purpose. Leave the front door open to anyone to walk through and feed and nurture them. And do one thing a day. Be more loving with ourselves and able to give more. Keep positive. All these are wonderful. But whatever it is for you, lock it in and say, hey, if we start back at the top, what's the lesson you feel you were put on this planet to learn? What are the actions you take or the habits you have that really truly align you with that lesson, help you make progress in understanding or deepening that lesson? What are the things you do to distract yourself from that, and how do you kind of move those out of the way? And what could you commit to doing each day? What questions could you ask yourself? What could you commit to doing each day to stay in absolute alignment with what it is you feel you're here to learn? Learn from mistakes and better yourself. Absolutely. So that's the thought of the day. I think this is day 88 or 89, but that's the thought that we could throw out there, and hopefully this is useful. If this is useful, make sure to share it with someone or tag someone in the comments so they can come check this out. And I think I have a couple more minutes here. If you guys have any burning questions, toss them in the comments and I'll see if I can answer them. I do not know everything, but I have acquired a lot of knowledge over the years, and I'd be more than happy to share. Remember, it's not what you say or do, but how you make them feel. Absolutely. Any burning questions, I'd be happy to answer. If not, I'm going to jump and go spend some time with my wife. I don't see any coming through. God bless. Hope you guys have an amazing day. I'll see y'all tomorrow for the next day of this journey. See ya.